Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. David Hill. I am excited to visit with you today again in our continuing discussion about nutrition, the cornerstone of our health. You'll recall in a previous webinar we spoke briefly about the Alpha CRS. Now we said that this was a cellular longevity and energy product that focused into all of the cofactors we need from a nutritional aspect to help us our cells function more efficiently, as well as from a protective benefit because of the high amount of polyphenols, naturally occurring antioxidants that are found in this blend of the Alpha CRS. Significant because we said those polyphenols were as much as 70 times more potent than the traditional types of antioxidants we think of, like vitamin E, for example. Now today we want to focus in on the Microplex VMC and the Z-Omega. Now all three of these represent a complete nutrition supplementation program as a part of the doTERRA Lifelong Vitality Pack. The Alpha CRS, as we previously discussed, the Z-Omega, this is essential fatty acids combined with certified pure therapeutic grade essential oils, and then we have essential vitamins and minerals in the Microplex VMZ. I'll have a brief discussion about each one of these to help you understand why it's the complete program that offers us the most benefit, not just when we consume one, but when we consume all three of them together to complete this nutritional program on a daily basis. Now let's begin by talking a little bit about fats just very quickly. There's a lot of confusion with fats, especially between unsaturated fats and saturated fats. To help you understand it very quickly, a saturated fat simply means that the structure itself, the fat itself, is saturated with hydrogen atoms. It makes it very stable. Then we have an unsaturated fat, which is unsaturated, meaning that some of the hydrogen atoms are missing. And as you can see, structurally it's very different. We typically have saturated fats coming from animal sources, where we have unsaturated fats coming from a variety of other sources, including plants and also man-made substances. Now to give you an idea of the comparison between these, I want to refer to a study called the British Health Study. You may have heard of this before. Thousands of men were asked to reduce their cholesterol, make positive dietary changes in that they weren't to take any saturated fats, stop smoking, but they were also asked to increase their intake of unsaturated hydrogenated oils such as marjoram and vegetable oils for 1 year. Now you'll recognize that marjoram and vegetable oils are substances that probably many of us use on a daily basis. What was interesting is that the other half of the participants were told to do nothing. If they smoked, whatever their lifestyle habits were, they were to remain, including all of the dietary habits that they had. And at the end of 1 year they discovered that the individuals whom they had made the change with in this supposedly positive way to reduce unsaturated and increase, or to reduce saturated and increase unsaturated fats, 100% more deaths than those that were on, quote, the bad diet, and even those who continued to smoke. Now why this is significant is that over recent years we've seen a 400% increase in these types of fats, while we've seen a significant decrease in the amount of essential fatty acids that are available for use in our body. Now essential fatty acids are different than unsaturated fats, and they're different than saturated fats. For example, an unsaturated fat in the form of a trans fat and a lack of omega-3 fatty acids in the nerve cells themselves, in that membrane, can cause an inefficiency to develop, and our brain begins to function in a less than optimal state. It's important to note that all the membranes, all the cellular membranes in our body really need to have this proper fatty acid structure, the omega-3 fatty acids. But because of our high consumption of trans fats and unhealthy fats, they become the dominant factor, and as illustrated here, much of the time can cause significant issues for us. Now you may be surprised to learn that the brain by weight, 60% of its volume is actually fats. And 80% of the cerebral cortex needs to be composed specifically of omega-3 fatty acids. Up to 99% of us are deficient in a significant way in the amount of omega-3 fatty acids that we consume. And when we have these deficiencies that develop, you can see some of the diseases and some of the illnesses that we can be exposed to. Now what's interesting about each of these is that they're all on the increase. None of them are being reduced, and they're becoming a bigger and larger health concern for many, many people. This is the whole purpose behind taking the Z Omega as a daily dietary supplementation. Now, it has three very specific advantages. First off, that there are certified pure therapeutic grade essential oils mixed with the land and sea-based fatty acids. And then lastly, we give you specialized delivery. So let me just highlight very quickly why fish oil is so valuable. Now, you already understand its value in a concentrated form for each cellular membrane. You understand that the brain tissue, the myelin sheaths of the body are composed mainly of this fatty acid. So we need to give you the end or most usable form of those fatty acids, omega-3 fatty acids. And in their end state, when they become utilized by the body, they're known as EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid, and DHA, docosahexaenoic acid. We give you, and the advantage of a fish oil is that you get them in their usable form. The body doesn't necessarily have to break them down or convert them into another substance to be able to use them. So we give you a significant amount per each dosage. You get a significant amount of each of those. Now, we've added that with something called astaxanthin. Now, this is a carotenoid. Now, it not only is an antioxidant, and not only does it have the ability to pass the blood-brain barrier, all of this clinically documented, it supports muscle and strength endurance, and it supports immune function within your body. So astaxanthin is a carotenoid, thinking about this now as this powerful antioxidant. What it really is a microalgae that as it's exposed to sunlight, the radiation from sunlight, it develops astaxanthin, this carotenoid, and it turns from this green that you see on the left-hand side of your screen to this brilliant red. Now, this is the reason why the capsules themselves are red, is because of the amount of astaxanthin that they have. It's when they produce astaxanthin, turn red, that they become protective of individual cells. So we're offering you, in addition to the building blocks for your cells now, some additional protection for each of the cells. Now, we also have some land-based fatty acids associated with this blend, and the reason why is because land and sea-based are utilized a little bit different. They operate through different pathways. So you can see we give you a good amount, as well as we give you natural vitamin D, and we do give you some vitamin E as well. Each one of those are very, very important. Here's what's really interesting, and this is the second key point, is that research shows that fish oil, when you take these omega-3 fatty acids, and when you enhance that with pure therapeutic grade essential oils, CPTG oils, like we've just mentioned, it provides a minimum of 10 times the stability and the bioactivity of fish oil alone. In other words, the omega-3 fatty acids that we consume, when we consume them with certified pure therapeutic grade essential oils, which is one of the things that makes this blend different than any other one that you could purchase. We all understand the value of omega-3 fatty acids, certainly. But many people don't understand that when you consume omega-3 fatty acids with certified pure therapeutic grade essential oils, you can dramatically increase the benefit that you receive. Clove, for example, one of the things that we love about the omega-3 fatty acids is they're anti-inflammatory. One of the things that happens when we consume clove is that clove can reduce that inflammation by another 30%. Frankincense we know is stabilizing. German chamomile is anti-inflammatory. And each one of the oils, thyme oil, earlier we talked a little bit about DHA, and we said that that was very specific for much of your brain tissue. Thyme essential oil can not only preserve and protect those levels of DHA in your brain, can actually help to elevate the levels, which will improve our brain function. So there's good reason why we would want to not just take fish oils, but take fish oils with CPTG essential oils. And that's what we've given you in the Z Omega. Now, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. I thought you might like to see an article that I found that was very interesting. Many of you might have heard of this before, or maybe have seen this. I call this Krispy Kreme heaven, even though that's not how it was labeled in the New England Journal of Medicine. And what they did was they took a group of swine, and for 8 months they fed them nothing but Krispy Kreme donuts. And as you can imagine, as is illustrated here, at the end of that 8 months, they had almost complete occlusion of all of the arterial structures. They had heart disease. Now they did another interesting thing in that they took another group of swine, and for 8 months they fed them nothing but Krispy Kreme donuts, just like they had this first group. But in addition, they gave them omega-3 fatty acids. And even though they had the exact same diet, the only difference being the omega fatty acids, you can see that there was virtually no arterial disease associated with this secondary test group, where they gave them both, yes, the bad things with the Krispy Kreme donuts, but also gave them dietary cod liver oil, showing the significance or the ability of an omega-3 fatty acid to reduce some of the significant risk factors associated with heart disease. Now, stress accounts for up to 90% of all physician visits throughout the country. And we could have a little bit of a discussion on how our cells begin to function. One of the things that's interesting about our cells is that they have a useful lifespan. And one of the ways that that lifespan is determined is by the telomeres. Now, the telomeres actually are a protectant, or a coating, if you will, a protein, that actually covers the DNA strands. And each time our cell replicates, the telomeres, as you see illustrated here on the end of those strands, begins to diminish until such time we have exposure of that genetic material, and then a signal is cued that the cell itself needs to go through apoptosis. One of the things that's been very, very interesting in recent research about the essential fatty acids is that patients who have high levels of fish oil in their blood have a slowing of biological aging. In other words, the faster the telomeres diminish in association with our cells, the faster they age and the faster we age. We can slow that biological process down by taking something as simple as the Z-omega product. Now, another really interesting thing is that research has shown that fish oil delivered precisely to the intestines is absorbed 3 times better than when it's released in the stomach. And one of the things that we've done here with the Z-omega is we've taken advantage of some medical technology in a nanosomal lipid assimilation system. This is SEDS delivery. Now, what this means is that when you consume some type of a lipid, it has trouble passing through the intestinal wall. And partly because we have this water layer, and as you know, fats, a lipid, and water does not mix. So it's that way by design. One of the ways that we can have fats penetrate through that water layer and then into the intestinal wall and then for absorption is if we can encapsulate it in some type of a micelle. Well, micelle is nothing more than a hydrophilic structure that can encapsulate the lipophilic structure. And then it can easily penetrate across this water layer and into the intestinal tract, and ultimately, as you see here, into the lymphatic channel for complete utilization. Well, we give you nanosomal lipid assimilation with the with the Z-omega product. And so what you really have is a greater efficiency, a greater absorption, and consequently a greater utilization of all of the product that you're consuming. Much of the argument in medicine associated with nutrition is how much of it can we actually utilize. And so specialized delivery becomes an important feature with this product. Now, the Microplex VMZ also holds some tremendous value. This is essential vitamins and this is essential minerals. And there's not a whole lot to say about essential vitamins and minerals other than we give it to you in efficacious dosage levels. Now, this is a whole food blend, and then we give you trace minerals that you need. Now, we also are giving you an enzyme delivery system. And the reason why we do that is so that you can utilize what we're giving you, the nutrition that you're receiving, much, much better. Most people don't realize that enzymes and vitamins and minerals work in concert one with another. The more we have present of both of those, the greater utilization we can have. Now, we've given this to you in a food matrix. So we've given you a complete complex of vitamins and minerals, but we've given it to you in a food matrix. In other words, we extract the nutrients from foods. We encapsulate it in a yeast protein matrix. And what this means is that you have greater utilization or absorption of these. And again, one of the big concerns with any time we're doing supplementation is that we actually receive the benefit from what we're utilizing. All 3 of the products in the Lifelong Vitality Pack, the Alpha CRS, the Z-omega, and the Microplex VMZ, are going to be able to be utilized completely and fully in the body. So the efficacy of this supplementation trio is actually increased quite exponentially, very substantially. Now we have this enzyme delivery system where we give you the amylase, the protease, the cellulase, and the lipase, but we also give you some trace minerals so that there's high activity, so that there's this great utilization of the Microplex VMZ when you take that. Now, I would suggest that as a part of any healthy dietary program, if you're looking at supplementation, and while I realize that this is not a part of the Lifelong Vitality Pack, I would suggest that you consider also utilizing the Terrazyme as an enzyme. Now, this supports healthy digestion, energy, helps to reduce intolerances associated with some foods, some sensitivities that we might have. It has mineral cofactors. Remember, we said that vitamins and minerals and enzymes all work together. This is a whole food formula, meaning that it's all natural. We even give you SLS-free vegetable caps. All of this is very, very important, because if you take this with your meals, you'll improve your absorption and utilization of the nutrition outside of the Lifelong Vitality Pack that you're doing on a regular basis too. So this should be used in conjunction with the Lifelong Vitality Pack. I encourage you to consider utilizing the Lifelong Vitality Pack for all of the benefit that it offers and that it creates. It is nearly impossible to be able to create good, healthy outcomes for ourselves without recognizing that our body runs and is stabilized through nutrition. Much of the processes in our body are derived through healthy concepts and through healthy outcomes associated with proper supplementation. I encourage you to use the Lifelong Vitality Pack. I believe it'll make a significant difference in your health and in the health of those you care most about.